are just 121 days till the start of the 2026 World Cup, and we continue our series highlighting all 48 teams in the tournament. So today we're checking in on New Zealand for our World Cup spotlight. Now, the All Whites have qualified for just their third ever World Cup thanks to the newly expanded format. They cruised through the OFC qualifiers. They went a perfect 5-0, outscoring their opponents. Listen to this, Nico. 29-1 they outscored their opponents.
Wow.
But since that qualification, they have struggled in friendlies, going winless against stiff competition, including Australia, Norway, Colombia and Ecuador. Chris Wood. Chris Wood is the name most people know of. Although injured currently, he is expected to lead the team again this summer. And they were drawn into a tough group in Group G, pitted against Iran, Egypt and Belgium in the group stage, with all matches taking place in Los Angeles and Vancouver. So we thought today is a great day to spotlight New Zealand because we are joined by New Zealand's very own Ali Riley. You've played in 5 World Cups with this country, you've played in 4 Olympics, 163 caps. But I wanted to I think me and Nico are picking your brain today here about New Zealand, because they're known, when you think of New Zealand, you think of rugby, you think of cricket,
Lord of the Rings.
I think of netball. Where does soccer kind of fit into that landscape in New Zealand, in the sporting landscape?
Look, like you said, when you mention New Zealand, I think the All Blacks, our rugby, that's our national identity. But for youth participation, soccer is now one of the top sports. I think having 2 professional men's teams now in the A-League has really, really helped drum up excitement. There's a lot of hype. It's changing kind of the cultural landscape. This team has not been in a World Cup since 2010. I'm actually getting a little bit emotional seeing those images because this is a really, really big deal. It's a really big opportunity. I'm so happy for them. You mentioned Chris Wood. He was there in 2010. He was a teenager.
Wow.
And now this is his chance to be there again. We're hoping, obviously, that he is healthy. That is probably the key.
In 2010, New Zealand was the only unbeaten team from that World Cup.
3 draws.
The only team. We've been holding on to that for a long time.
They crashed out of group stage. Spain lost their first game to Switzerland in their group stage and ended up winning the World Cup.
Wow, very
Tying Italy was a big moment for our country, okay?
Yeah.
Well, with this new format, do you think it almost guarantees New Zealand are going to be getting into the World Cup? A lot, because Oceania is guaranteed a spot in the World Cup now.
Can I tell you something? In the previous format with 32 teams, New Zealand almost made the World Cup. I was actually lucky enough to see the Oceania World Cup qualifier, the final between New Zealand and Solomon Islands for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. It was actually in Qatar a couple of days before the draw. New Zealand was champions of Oceania, of OFC, and then ended up playing Costa Rica in the Interconfederation playoff and only lost 1-0.
Yeah.
So, sure, you can allude that a more generous field for World Cup qualifying, of course, will allow certain countries to make the World Cup. But if you're New Zealand, you can only play the teams that you've got in front of you, and it's a great opportunity for them to be at the big dance again.
Ali, what do you think about the new qualification with New Zealand?
I think, obviously, when Australia left Oceania to go to the Asia Confederation, that opened up an opportunity for the women's team, but it left the men with having to play this Interconfederation playoff. And I guess you really don't know who you're going to have to play. They struggled against Mexico, against Peru, came so close against Costa Rica. So, yes, now I think if you look at the table we just saw there, New Zealand is far ahead of the other OFC teams. However, I think there are more players in Europe now than we've ever had in the history of the All Whites. The team is looking very exciting. We can't say it's the only reason they qualified, but they should be the team that now qualifies, takes that automatic berth for World Cups to come. And
you mentioned we're seeing more players in Europe. I think the biggest name on this New Zealand side is Chris Wood. He's currently out with injury for Nottingham Forest, but he's the all-time goal scorer for New Zealand, the all-time appearance leader. What's his impact on this team?
He's just been so prolific. He is this figure, obviously stands tall, literally, but I think just for the team, for him to have such success in Europe, I mean, a couple of seasons ago, it was mind-blowing. And so I think having him out of the squad is so concerning because of this fact, but he's also a great guy. He's someone that I was on the board of our Players Association with. He's someone who's really advocated for the growth of the game, equality of the game, so I have a lot of respect for him. I'm excited to see him back. Nottingham Forest will obviously want him back as well, but he's really led the way. He's helped keep New Zealand in the conversation internationally, especially when this is a team that went long periods without playing international fixtures because they missed out of the last 3 cycles.
Chris Wood just has a different type of quality than I would say anybody in his confederation has. To have a guy like this that scored goals at the highest level is an absolute privilege, and obviously they're going to have to rely on him. He physically makes a difference beyond his quality, right? So it's pretty incredible to watch. I have a super important question, though, because I didn't know that you guys switched kit manufacturers, and that kit is gorgeous. When are you going to get some for the morning footy desk?
I'll see what I can do. Yeah. No, we obviously, it's traditional to have the all black and the all white kits, hence how they got the nickname. But I think adapting the fern and some of our national symbolism and identity into the kit has been really nice for all of us.
They seem like they fit a little bit tight, so XL for me. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, they look great on you, Nico. So lovely. And you're kind of got your black and white on today, Ali, as well. You're repping New Zealand.
Of course.
We have got a projected lineup, so why don't we take a look at it and you walk us through who we could potentially be seeing in the World Cup this year?
Well, we are obviously hoping to see Chris Wood there. This injury timeline has kind of gotten longer and longer, but projected by the end of the Premier League season. I really have been impressed by Boxall, Sermon. Obviously, Boxall has been in the MLS for a long time. Great center back, great leadership presence. We have Crocombe, who Millwall. We've got players now who are in the championship who are making names for themselves. Kakache isn't on here, but he scored for Wrexham in the FA Cup. So there's definitely players to get excited about. And I have to call out Sarpreet Singh. We were at Bayern Munich together, and this is kind of a crazy for 2019 to have 2 New Zealand national team players at Bayern Munich. We did a little winter wonderland photo shoot because obviously that's what you do when you have 2 Kiwis in Munich, but this is someone who has faced a lot of challenges, a lot of injuries. He's getting back into the squad. I heard him speak in a press conference, and I think his quality, he's super quick, he's so good on the ball, and he's someone that I hope if he gets in there in that midfield could be someone that plays off Chris Wood. So look, there's excitement. I heard that 12,000 Kiwis have registered for the group play to see the games, which will be in Los Angeles and in Vancouver. Very far from New Zealand, but closer than it could be. So
I mean, I feel like those are the closest destinations you can get from New Zealand.
Yeah, but these guys, especially with some of our MLS presence, I think we'll have a lot of people behind them.
Yeah.
But,
How do you travel from Auckland is the main airport, or Wellington is the main airport?
Auckland, there's a direct 12-hour Auckland to LA. Yep.
Auckland to LAX, wow.
Yeah.
Direct flight.
So easy.
What more
Just
can you ask for?
Easy, so easy.
No problem.
Well, they're in Group G in the World Cup, Nico. They're going to be facing Iran, Egypt and Belgium. How do you see them faring in that group?
Listen, New Zealand has been competitive in a couple of friendly fixtures. This is a completely different can of worms. You have to try to get the most you can in that game versus Iran. But it gets difficult more difficult as the games progress, right? You have Egypt with players that are playing at the highest level, top quality, world class in Mo Salah. Although there have been question marks against Egypt, New Zealand are clearly the underdog in every match they get. And it's not that you play to go into the knockout stage as a third-place team. You play every single game to win. But if New Zealand can somehow squeak by, but you're going to need to win a game or draw all 3, right?
That still might not be enough.
Right.
I don't know.
And squeak in as one of those last-place teams. This is a very difficult path to try to get out of the group.
Ali, do you agree?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And we were waiting. I think New Zealand was the second to last name to be drawn. Obviously, when it comes to then, you know where teams are going to slot. But every time a name was being drawn, we thought, oh, here, New Zealand will be here, New Zealand will be here. The coming year, there are worse groups, I think, but getting something out of those first 2 games will be key.
Yeah,
it's really hard.
It's interesting though with New Zealand because they've been putting in good performances. They just haven't been able to get results. Even the manager has come out and said that. But to get those results, it's going to be hard, let alone just in friendlies, to do that in the World Cup, isn't it?
It is, and especially if there are question marks around Chris Wood.
Yeah. And we don't know when he's coming back, do we?
I mean, well, he's slowly coming back. It's not like it's not like it's going to be a game time decision for the World Cup. Like Nottingham Forest could have it soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a specific timetable. I do have a question though, and part of my ignorance. What do they call football, soccer in New Zealand? Is it like Australia, or do they call it football?
So it was New Zealand football is the federation.
Oh, okay.
But I would say when we say football, we get confused with rugby or Aussie rules. So I guess soccer, but my teammates would always say football.
Is the Australian Federation? Is it the Australian Football Federation? I don't know. Now I'm confusing myself. That's interesting because we are US soccer.
Wait.
Right?
So you call it soccer?
Right, because football is Aussie rules.
What's Aussie rules?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you need to go on YouTube.
We have a different show for this.
No. You don't know who Leaping Liam Ryan is?
Aussie rules?
Oh, my God. It's the best sport ever.
Is it like American football?
It makes actual soccer. No, it's times
These are
1,000.
some of the most athletic people on the planet.
And real, like, warriors, valiant.
And really short shorts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'll take a look then.
It makes, if soccer players, right, are, just to differentiate, soccer, if we consider them a little bit soft, Aussie rules players makes football players look like babies. They would disintegrate with how soft they are compared to these guys.
No.
I need to
look at it.
Proper go at it. Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.